And what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Mr. MicroMike, and today we are doing a Detroit Lions mailbag stream to answer all your great Detroit Lions questions, and I am excited to give you some Lions talk. Yes, indeed, it is Detroit Lions Friday because I was unable to go on Tuesday, so I am making up for it right now. Let me know how the audio sounds. If it sounds great, yay. If it does not sound great, that's not a yay. But let's see who's in here. We got Dr. Detroit Shadow Chief, Big D73, Dr. Detroit, as well as JoJo Burns. Believe the Hype. It's been a minute. I have not seen you in here in a little bit. Believe the Hype. Kool-Aid and Cornbread, a bit low. Sounds great. Well, guess what? That means I will put this a little closer to my mouth. How about that? Right there. And we got in here Water King Anonymous. Welcome all to the chat, and we're just going to go ahead and get this bad boy going. And we are here, Tyler Morris, to talk all things Detroit Lions. This is for you. You ask the questions, I shall answer, and that's what we do here. And I already got some questions asked that was sent to me via community post, and we're just going to begin with it. And this is from Shane Kowalski. He says, predict the stats for the quarterback. Matthew Stafford, I say he will get 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, as well as the top two running backs. DeAndre Swift, I say he gets 700 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, maybe 250 yards passing. I can't do the next one. Maybe 400 yards rushing. Not going to say a whole lot. Top 3 wide receiver. Well, that's going to be Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., and Amendola. Kenny Galladay, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns again. Marvin Jones, 1,100, 10. Danny Amendola will do 553 touchdowns. So let's get this bad boy going. Put the questions in there, and I will answer. You just do whatever you want. Ask me a question. I shall answer. And that is what it's all about. I see here. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the season to start. Man, never wanted one to start more than this year. This has been a rough year, to say the least. Dr. Detroit, and I am with you. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this bad boy to start. We are just 2 weeks away. Yes, 2 weeks away from facing the Chicago Bears, and we're going to get it. What's going on, Dwayne Hogan? He is a member of my channel. I appreciate you very much joining the chat. Josh Jackson, what's going on, buddy? I appreciate you coming in here. Antoine, you is high. What's going on? I seen that your comment was hidden. I am not 100% sure, but we're going to get this thing going anyways. So, while my phone rings, let's go to the next question that was asked to me via community post, and that's from Dr. Detroit. He says, if the Lions find themselves somehow 0-5, do you resign the players looking for long-term deals? Resign Kenny Galladay, Decker Jones, and what do you look to trade for Stafford? I'm going to be patient to see what's going on next year. Woo, that's an interesting question. First off, I hope we do not go 0-5. That would be 0-suck. We would be having a lot of issues, and it would depend. If the players are good, yeah, why not resign them? If Taylor Decker balls out and becomes a great left tackle this year, yeah, resign him. He's looking great in camp. I see. Even if we go 0 and whatever, if the player's doing great, I'm not going to hold it against them. I think that would be more of a coaching change, general manager change. I would resign him. If we traded Matthew Stafford, that would be interesting to say the least. Do I want that to happen? Absolutely no, but it could happen. What would I want? Well, I want that first overall pick or second or third overall pick to guarantee I'm getting me a quarterback. If not, I have to think about that one. What's our game plan for the Chicago Bears? Yu-Gi-Oh! Rex. For me, it is simply do long, sustained offensive drives, game plan of mix of pass and run, and get touchdowns instead of field goals. And in the fourth quarter, make sure that we can run the football if we have a lead. That's the most important part. Be balanced on offense. Balanced. It doesn't matter what the other team's throwing at us. We got to continue to be balanced. We got to have a good passing game, but we also need to have a good running game. Taylor Decker needs to be on the left side and protect Matthew Stafford. Keep him upright. That is the number one game plan for our Detroit Lions versus Chicago Bears. Keep Stafford upright. But again, I think getting first down and long drives, not quick touchdown drives, those are nice. But if we can wear a defense down early, first, second, third, and in the fourth quarter they're tired, that's how we win against the Chicago Bears, because we have to get a win. Make no mistake about it. You cannot go 0-1 on the first game against your rival. That is not the way it's supposed to be. Don 19, also known as Don Stradamus. What's going on, buddy? Definitely. A lot is going on. We're here talking Detroit Lions, and we are doing Mailbag. You guys run the show. Ask me the questions. I shall answer. If I miss your question, make sure to just to repost it, because sometimes this goes too quick, and I am 35 with 90-year-old eyes. Sometimes I feel like that. Next question I have on my community post is, where do you think the Lions will end up in the standings this year? I have not done an in-depth prediction for our beloved Detroit Lions, but I think, in my opinion, we'll be a 9-win, 10-win team. I think that's very possible. Safe side 9, but between 9 and 10 wins. I think we're a wild card team to make the playoffs. There's 7 teams now in the NFC that can make the playoffs. I think it's very, very probable to be a team that makes the playoffs. In regards to the NFC and the standings and the rankings, I still think the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings, may be the stronger team. We don't know, but it's just kind of off looking. It's very hard to grasp this initial outlook of our team in the NFC because of no preseason. We can't really see a whole lot due to the pandemic. So, yes, I heard Mike Ford got injured as well today. I did hear about that, and he was an individual who was a possible to make the team, possible not. It'll be interesting to see what type of injury, but again, thankfully it's not to Okuda, Coleman, Trufant, a player like that. Yes, you don't want to see players injured, but I definitely don't want to see our stars injured. And best to Mike Ford. Hopefully he gets better, and that's the truth. I see that we got 25 in the chat, and we got 12 thumbs up. Let's get 25 thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it if you can do so. That would be fantastic, getting that in there. Let's see, bring in Logan Ryan. The reason I don't believe they would bring in another veteran such as Logan Ryan is we have a lot of talent in the secondary. In my opinion, if you look at, obviously, Okuda, we drafted with the 3rd pick. With Desmond Trufant, the veteran, we also have Coleman, who we paid big time last year, and we got Amani Okwara. So I don't see they're bringing this type of individual in here. Maybe they'll bring someone upon the defensive line. That will be interesting for sure. Mike, I swear to God, I'm going back and watching all your videos and ISN videos. I am truly sorry I've been able, really missed to feel super bad. I got sorry in no room. There is no sorries here, folks. No problem, believe the hype. We all have a life, and that's hashtag facts on facts crime. So, do not feel sorry. Make sure your family is first. Make sure that you got your life in order before you take time to watch YouTube. In my opinion, that's the way it needs to be. We got the best cornerback squad in the league. Ford will make the team. Depends on his injury. I have not heard the type of severity that Ford has. It'll be interesting to see the severity it is. I don't want to see a big-time injury, but we don't know. Not yet. We will win the NFC North. We should trade for Ngakoue and make a Super Bowl run, our secondary stack. Folks, do you think we should trade for Yannick Ngakoue? Put Y for yes and for no. Let me know. I know a lot of people still want to add upon the defensive line. If you feel we need to get another defensive end, a defensive tackle, let me know, because that is definitely a question mark, and we have a lot of question marks so far upon this defense. Ford was a good chance to make the roster. I'd be hard-pressed to find a better 4-cornerback tandem on paper. Yes, on paper, we definitely got a very good quarterback tandem, but that's on paper, so we got to see, and it doesn't matter if we cannot get that defensive line to get after the quarterback. So hopefully we can, and that is the truth. Folks, 24 in the chat, 15 thumbs up. Let's get it all the way to 24. That would be nice. I'll give a second for him. For Yannick and Ngakoue, okay, a second. I see some yeses in there. I see Joe Tooney. I see a defensive tackle from Sheldon. What's going on, Sheldon McCreary? Ben Diesel says yes. Shane Ngakoue would be sneaky trade. I would give Bob an A if he does that trade under the radar. Well, if we did that trade, it would definitely not be under the radar, but that is still an interesting situation to look for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Ngakoue, he doesn't want to be part of their team. They're in rebuild mode. They are ready to get that first overall pick. Why wouldn't you trade that asset away to get draft capital? Bob Quinn, you got to think about it. Even though he may be a little bit of a head case, that's okay, because if we don't get to the quarterback, MicroMike is going to be a head case. I want to win, and I want to win now. Mike, if you don't mind to relay my message to the rest of ISN, that would be much appreciated. Well, I will do that. Believe the hype, and make sure you subscribe to his channel, because he is a Detroit Lions content creator. He makes hype videos, i.e. his name Hype. So go ahead and do that. Harmon is my favorite. I love Harmon, Dr. Detroit. I am with you. We're not hearing a lot about him in camp, but I have a feeling he's going to be a very good piece to our beloved Detroit Lions. Let me continue the questions that was asked to me. Why do you think the Lions will make the playoffs? That's by Abdul Terrell. Why do I think they're going to make the playoffs? Well, there's many reasons why. First off, we need to make the playoffs for Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia's job. I think that's extremely important for them if they want to continue to run this team, be in charge of this team. They got to show the Ford family, not Martha, but Sheila, that they deserve to be here. Number two, we do have talent. We have a lot of talent on offense. If you look at the weaponry, Matthew Stafford's back. We got a fairly good defensive line. I think Taylor Decker is showing very good improvement in camp, as well as Halapaludi Vaitai. Good running game now with DeAndre Swift, Bo Scarborough, Kerryon Johnson, and of course our offensive weapons with Marvin Jones Jr., Marvin Hall, Kenny Galley, Danny Amendola, and Cephas. This offense on fire. We got a very talented secondary. Our linebacking core, I think, will be better with the additions of Collins. And our defensive line cannot be as bad as last year. And number three, 7 teams make the postseason in the NFC. That gives another chance for another team to make it. So Abdul Terrell, that is why our Detroit Lions, in my opinion, will make the postseason. Let's see here. Seems like we finally have a good culture in Detroit. This team just feels different in past years. I agree. It does feel that way. I feel more comfortable today to talk about the Lions being successful simply with the individuals that are in the locker room. They got that cultural mindset. They got that strength and power to not whine about playing in the snow. And that's what we need here in Detroit because it gets cold here. Because of our offense, but staff got to stay healthy. Dwayne Hogan is spot on. We must stay healthy. I repeat, Stafford must stay healthy for our beloved Detroit Lions to go to the next level. If Stafford is upright, we have a chance to win. If Stafford is down, we don't have a chance because Chase Daniel is not Matthew Stafford. David Blau is definitely not Matt Stafford. You have to have the quarterback. It hurt us when we lost Stafford. 0-8, we all know, we all seen last season. If Stafford stays healthy, we have a chance in every single game. Where is Jamie Collins? Antoine U is high. That is the question. Where is Jamie Collins? We're not hearing a lot in camp, but that necessarily doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Not hearing a man in camp, you don't want to hear bad things about a player in camp, and you also don't want to hear them whining, i.e. Darius Slay was. So, it doesn't mean that it's so bad. It doesn't mean that it's great. Maybe it means that they're but if you look at last year with our defense, our linebacking core and defensive line, is much better than garbage trash that it was. So we'll wait to see when we play the Chicago Bears, because I have no idea where he is. And you are correct. Where is he? What's going on, Clayton? Awesome videos. Welcome to the chat. I thought was the only one. Don, Antoine, Jamie doing interviews. Back it up, fellas. Hi. And I'm trying to get to the questions here. Throw questions in. We will go. Does Nick Williams start at defensive tackle? Love that question. We're hearing nothing but positive raves from Nick Williams. I love it. I think we're going to see a lot of rotation with the interior defensive line. I don't think you're going to see one specific guy there the whole time. I think you're going to see rotations. You're going to see 2 down defensive tackle. You're going to see one they're going to mix it up and get fresh. I think you're going to see a lot of Williams. You will see a lot of him. You're going to see a lot of Deshaun Hand. You're going to see these guys mixed in. If you looked at last year, the big guys were extremely tired. They were worn out. We cannot have that again. When you're worn out, you lose. If we get these guys in there with the rotation, where they can have a deep breath, nothing but positive for our Detroit Lions and for our interior defensive line as well. What's going on with Okuda? Dominic Gomez. Okuda is actually practicing with the first-string defense with Desmond Trufant on the other side. Okuda, he took his lumps in the beginning of camp, but he seems to be growing. You got to understand, even though he's the 3rd overall pick, the cornerback position is extremely difficult to learn. So him, by even playing on the starting defense, is a big sigh of relief for me. It's a big understanding that this man has the mental capacity to learn on the defensive backfield, and I'm extremely, extremely happy about that. Shout out to Jeff Okuda for being that man. If we're decently healthy, we'll make the playoffs this year without a doubt. I think we may win a playoff game as well, and next year make a Super Bowl push. We're doing that right now. Josh Jackson, I hope you're correct. That would be absolutely fantastic. Let's get that Super Bowl push. Let's get those W's. That's what it's all about here for our Detroit Lions. I would love for us to get a playoff victory. A playoff victory to me would be absolutely fantastic. We have not had one since 1991. Yes, I repeat, 1991. We deserve a winner. The Detroit Lions deserve a winner. The city of Detroit deserves a winner. The state of Michigan deserves a winner. And every fan, whether you are young and especially if you're old, deserve a playoff victory, in my opinion. That is the bottom line. StreamBot says, become a member of my channel. You can click that. Deshaun Hand better stay healthy. Don Burr, he definitely needs to stay healthy. Deshaun Hand needs to stay healthy, because if he doesn't, we're in trouble. If he does, we are not, and everything is good. TA Noble Sports, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you jumping in here. Subscribe to TA Noble Sports. He's part of ISN. Fantastic content creator. You all know who he is anyways. Okuda not being a stud out the gate is concerning. Pick a 3rd, especially at the position, unless Deion Sanders, you don't take a top 10. I hope it's the adjustments. I think he'll be perfectly fine. I am not worried about this at all. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for our Detroit Lions. He's going to take his bumps, obviously, as a rookie, but at the end of the day, he is going to be a great player for us for the long term, and I appreciate that for sure. Does Mike become a Christian Jones fan this season? If I became a Christian Jones fan this season, I will be extremely happy, because that means he proved me wrong. Please prove me wrong, Christian Jones. I don't think you're that good. Hopefully you prove me wrong and become a fantastic player, but I am not optimistic at all. I am extremely worried about that. Please prove me wrong. That would be the best way. I am sick of Austin Bryant already. The man ain't been healthy. I know! He needs to stay healthy. Please stay healthy. Get healthy. We are tired of you not being healthy. Austin Bryant, this is a make or break year for you. You ain't getting healthy, saw your way out of here, man. And that's the bottom line. This week would have been week 3 of the preseason, yes, and we would be evaluating the starting offense and defense for 3 quarters, but we're not now. We are evaluating reports, and I would rather evaluate field play, but unfortunately, we are evaluating reports. Jorge, Mike, cheers. What do you think about FanDuel over and under at 7? I have not seen the FanDuel prediction for the game, so unfortunately, I cannot go ahead and talk about that right now, but if they think that we're going to lose by 7, that would be interesting, and I think that's ridiculous. Let's see, and Justin Coleman needs to step up. We paid him a lot of money. Yes, Justin Coleman definitely needs to step up, and I think from last year, guys, that Justin Coleman got hurt due to the defensive line. You got to understand, he is going against the wide receiver number 3 generally, and these guys are very slippery and fast, and so when you have a quarterback sitting in the pocket, it's going to pick apart the corner fairly easy, especially the one who is in the nickel. So if the defensive line is better, I really do think Justin Coleman will pick his game up. He is a good player, so let's not throw the wall at him yet, but I agree, he definitely does got to pick it up. Mike, could it be everyone was playing out of position last year due to injuries, so we really don't know, especially with the new additions on the D? Yes, and yes. Hey, Cheryl Hinberg, welcome to this stream, and I appreciate you. Yes, I think a lot of people was playing out of position. Why? You got to understand the injuries to the defensive interior. They were extremely tired. You're playing guys longer than they should, and you're putting players out of position to succeed on the interior line. Linebacking core, Jarrod Davis should have been on the outside, in my opinion. Jelani Tavai was a rookie at that point. Now you're seeing him practice on the middle, and I think that's better for him. Injuries and lack of game time hurt us last year, and I think you'll see a lot of better in that in regards to our defense this upcoming season, as well as if you look at what happened with Diggs' trade, and we had injuries to our safety. Harris had to come and be a starter, and to me, that was not a position to succeed for him. So please hit that like button. You haven't done so. 31 in the chat. Let's get 31 likes. Post your questions in the chat. This mailbag is for you. I answer your questions. If I miss the question, repost it, and I will get to it. Is Hand going to be ready? Hand is ready. I do believe he's going to be ready. His hand is definitely doing good with his elbow. I think he'll be perfectly fine. He's doing well in training camp. Hopefully he stays fine throughout the season. But yes, I think he is a go week 1. Don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Coleman is a stud. What's going on, Robert Jones? He says, what's up, MicroMike? Hey, what's going on, buddy? Happy Friday to everyone in the chat. It is Friday, and I am happy about that. Mike, since no fans in the stands, can you make friend bologna sandwiches and have us over on Sundays? I can make you bologna sandwiches, but here we do free beer and hot wings at my house. Family comes over, and if it's not, generally I'm live streaming on here doing live reactions to the game. I got great audio. Come join me. If you're not at the game, we will have fun. And it gets crazy because, guys, I don't know if you know last year, when I'm watching the game, definitely emotions comes out because it is big time. So make sure you jump in as we do watch parties on my channel. Bingo, Mike. Lions 7, Packers 9, Vikings 8.5, Bears 8. OMG. Look, I get it. I'm not going to be upset with the national pundits in Vegas. We have to prove it on the field. I totally get it. Totally understand. I have a feeling we're going to prove it, though. I think we're going to turn heads, and that's what we need here in Detroit. So I'm not going to freak out on these guys. Coleman was playing. No 2 was acquired in the slot. He was put in a position to fail due to the injuries, due to position out of players, in my opinion. I think Coleman's a really good player. He doesn't get as good as he does from the Seattle Seahawks out of nowhere. So I think he is a very good player. It's very difficult to judge secondaries when your defensive line is so bad. Defensive line really affects a game. It really affects the whole defense, and it can make other players that are good look bad, and I think that was the case this last season. Seems like Patricia Lyon set the standard for awareness. What do you think? Yes, it definitely looks like that. Detroit is a very diverse area, very place of all thinking minds, and I think that they're in keen with what's going on. If you live in the city of Detroit or if you're around that area, you kind of understand it. It's definitely a blue-collar city, a blue-collar town. I know a lot of people like to give it bad rep, but just think about Detroit, guys. Detroit really, without the Motor City, without the Industrial Revolution, we would not be in the position we are in the United States right now if it wasn't for that. So I think a lot of people understand, especially if you go to Detroit. I mean, if you look like at Nate Burleson, he still reps Detroit like it was yesterday. A lot of people are like that and are down with what takes place over here. So for sure, better set the standard and win some games. Yes, we have to win football games. If you want the narrative to change in Detroit, there's one simple thing you got to do. Win. Period. That's all you have to do is win football games. If you don't win, it doesn't matter what the pundits say. It doesn't matter what the fans say. It doesn't matter what I say. You got to win. That changes narratives. That changes the culture. And that changes what everybody wants to change and bring glory back to the Honolulu blue and silver. We all want it. It's time to do it. And it's time to win now. Folks, throw questions in the chat, hashtag ISN, hashtag Mike, whatever you want to do. This is for you, the live stream, mailbag, and I am going all in on questions. It's a great lesson for players to play different positions and understand the positions that we're thinking. Absolutely. If you look at what they do with our Detroit Lions, and I think it really shows on the offensive line. You look at last year with Graham Glasgow, he could play center, he could play guard, and it really is pivotal for our Detroit Lions. Because when you have an injury like that, you can simply move another guy in. We have that with Crosby, right? He can play left tackle and right tackle. If we have an injury, we can throw him on either side. We're seeing that with Logan Stenberg. Stenberg is now practicing with center as well as guard. Absolutely love this philosophy. It really helps out when injuries start getting and piling up. They just got to be able to do the position and be able to be multi-dimensional for this to occur. I think that is a great lesson that we are learning for our beloved Detroit Lions. And that is a good philosophy that Matt Patricia brings to the team. Whether you like him or not, that is an asset. Let's talk the first game for the Bears and Mac and company. It's going to look funny with no fans. It's going to look weird with no fans. It is definitely going to look weird. I wonder if they're going to do the crowd noise. I wonder if they're going to play the forward down the field when the Detroit Lions score a touchdown. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully Khalil Mack, he sucks, and he does not get to the quarterback, but Taylor Decker has been showing out in camp. Halapuluti Vaitai is showing well. Hopefully that little injury he sustained, I don't think it's a big deal at all. One of those mix-up. And in all honesty, when it comes to the tackles, I do have faith that Crosby can come in for a pinch if needed. 9-7 or more. 9-7, 10-6 is kind of what I'm going for the Detroit Lions. I think that is the general area they're going to be. We do have a tough schedule, but I think a 9-win, 10-win team is plausible. You got to understand the NFC North is fairly close in competition. The Bears, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, they're all there. So I don't see us doing a clean sweep. So we have to be realistic, and I think 9 wins, 10 wins is realistic in my opinion for the Detroit Lions. Can they surprise me? Yeah, they surprised me last year with the 3-12-1. I didn't think there was no way, but they did. Can they surprise me with better? I would love that. Hopefully, that would be definitely the way to go, in my opinion. The Bears got Allen Robinson, but I don't know who's on their receiver core. It doesn't matter who the receiver core is because they got Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. Those guys got to get the ball out to the receivers, and right now, they are not good quarterbacks in my opinion, and they lost their good running back. Tariq Cohen's not a 3-down back. I think they're going to have issues on offense all year long. They still got a good defense, but for our defense is not being the strong point, this is a good way to start the season out with an offense that's not totally there. It's not a strength of a team. It's not the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not the Baltimore Ravens. So it's good that we're going against an offensive team that's kind of lackluster in my opinion. How long is it going to take for Cephas to take the slot from Danny Amendola? I say Danny Amendola will be in the slot this year, and I think Danny Amendola's last year as Detroit is now. So next year, you'll see Cephas take the bigger role, in my opinion. But they're going to give it to Danny Amendola this year, unless there's an injury, and I think he would replace him via injury. Hopefully, there is no injury, but there could be breaks he takes. You're going to see him implementing the offense a little bit, but Danny Amendola is definitely going to take majority of the snaps, for sure, unless there's injury. Cheryl Hindenburg says, we have money, so who is attractive to you on the market? My attractive person on the market is Kenny Galladay. I want them to re-sign him. We got money. Sign Kenny Galladay with that money what we have. Re-sign him now. And I would love, and I don't think they're going to do it, sign Marvin Jones Jr. I'd love for them to sign maybe a 2-year deal with Marvin Jones because he's doing great in camp. I love him. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would like that. And if Taylor Decker is really going to ball out this year, then sign Taylor Decker as well. Not 100% sure until we see it on the field. With that said, I would like to see those signings. And if we wanted to get an individual off the market, maybe pick up a Marcel Darius, a veteran in that presence for the interior. That would be nice. Are they going to do it? I don't think so, because they would have done it already. So in my opinion, I don't think they're really going to pick up anyone else that's a bigger name. You may see a guy they pick up that's an unknown. We've seen that, but it is what it is. They very least have a fan cheer, boo, and audio from the TV broadcast. Yes, Josh Jack, they did that with the MLB and it actually sounded really good. As a fan watching the game, it really did feel like there was a crowd there. So hopefully they do that for the broadcast for us watching. I'm not sure what it's going to be like being there, but at least for us to listen, it would be nice. The artificial crowd noise that opens up can of worms and how loud when, I don't think it's a good idea. What do you think? I think at least for the fans' perspective, for me, I want to hear it for me. I'm not saying that would be generated actually at Ford Field. That could be a broadcast thing, but I would like to hear it for me. I'm not 100% sure what it'd be like at Ford Field if they did that. Well, how are you going to have like 50 speakers going on? So I'm not sure about that. It's Nick Foles up and Mitch Trubisky, sir. Yes. And all of the above. So that really helps out our defense when those guys are up. Will they put mannequins with paper bags in their heads in Cleveland? Mannequins? Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, that would be really, really bad. But man, I feel like Cleveland Browns are definitely a cursed team. They lose their Grant Delpit, their safety. Ouch. No resigning until after week 6. Yeah, well, I want to see Kenny Galladay re-signed before the start of the year, but it definitely looks like you're right. The re-signing's not going to happen before the season starts because, in my opinion, they would have done it already. The bags is funny. Folks, ask me any question. Hashtag ISN, hashtag Mike, or just throw a question in there. This is for you. I enjoy doing these. I haven't done a mailbag in a long time where I strictly go to you for questions, and that is what I like doing, giving back to the subscribers and letting you hang out and talk Lions on a Friday night. So throw questions in there, and I will get to it. What is up with Jesse James? That's from Ian Schaefer. Nothing is up, and that's the sad part. I think Jesse James, we're not hearing anything in camp. We didn't hear anything last year. He didn't do anything. He wasn't getting the ball. He wasn't making plays. I have no idea what's going on with Jesse James. Jesse James, this scares me. He needs to be a playmaker. He needs to get the ball. And if he doesn't, he's a waste of a roster spot, in my opinion. I do not have a lot more patience with Jesse James. I want to see him get implemented more. And Darrell Bevell, that's on you. You do got to get this man the ball. It's very, very important. Get him the ball. Get him in the offense. We didn't bring this guy in from the Steelers to be there looking like a bland person on the 11-man front. So, get him implemented in there. I like Decker as much as you, brother, but is it just me or has anyone else noticed he has elbow interior arm problems, maybe hyperextension? Oh, I have not noticed that. Hopefully he doesn't have any issues. We shall see, but I have not noticed that. I don't want that to happen. Now, if that's the case, if he's got some conditional issue that's going to be lasting long, that's something to look at for sure. What's your thoughts on the Minnesota Vikings? I think the Minnesota Vikings has got a really good team. They're coached well by Mike Zimmer. He's got a great first name. Their quarterback from Holland, Michigan, yes, where I live. And their defense is always good. It'll be interesting to see how their offense works. I know Cook, the running back, is having issues via contract. Not sure how that's going to play out. That's interesting, but I've always felt Minnesota Vikings are a well-coached team, and they're going to be good. I have them actually winning the NFC North. I think they're probably the biggest competition instead of the Green Bay Packers. I just feel they're always a well-coached team. They have a good draft every year. They always put pieces in position to succeed. That is what it's like. James got a great deal, and it's about money. James was one-shot wonder for the Steelers. Hopefully that's not the case. Or, hey, hopefully that's not the case. We don't want we do not want that. We do not want a one-hit wonder. We don't need that. But if that's the case, we may have to realign our team in regards to Jesse James. I heard Isaac Nada dropped a touchdown pass from Stafford today. No, Isaac Nada. You don't drop touchdowns. We cannot drop touchdowns in the red zone. We had that a lot last year. If you get in the red zone, if the ball gets into your hands, catch the ball. Isaac Nada, though, is not a big-time player in regards to the red zone, but he is an individual trying to make the roster, battling, in my opinion, for a tight end / fullback position. He's got to do it if he wants to beat out Travis Troxell's favorite player of all time, Nick Bolden. For the last 2 years, he's had a brace on his arm. Yeah, I think that, but I don't know if it's one of those things where it's a lifelong injury like me, where I have arthritis. I don't know about that. We'll see, though. It's one of those things. He's not a real good left tackle, in your opinion. I think he's a mid-round left tackle, 15, 16-ish, in my opinion. That's where I have Taylor Decker. I don't think he's a top 10. I don't think he's that bad. I just think he's a mid-round left tackle. James is a pen dude. A hashtag ISN for Kool-Aid's a Cornbread. Do you think the Minnesota offense will have issues since they lost their offensive coordinator? Their offense was really good at the end of the year. I think they'll have issues potentially with losing their offensive coordinator. However, I think if they have issues, it's more to Cook not being happy with the team or whatever he does. I think that their offense runs literally off the running game. I think if Cook is not effective or if not there, vice versa, they're going to have issues. It all depends on that running game. It truly, truly does. I know they lost Diggs and they traded him away to the Bills, but that offense, it really surrounds the running game. If they don't have a running game, they're not going to be good. If they have a running game, that offense can click. So it all depends on their run game. He's good when he could use his arms, though. The last couple of years, he's had no strength in his arm. I think that's right. Ever since he had that injury, man, he was great as a rookie, and they kind of went downhill. He is ranked 23rd in the NFL, Mike. I would give him more of a mid-round. I think that's bad. I think that's a little bit worse than what he should be. I still give him mid-round. Can somebody bring me a Red Robin burger? Now I'm hungry. Thank you. I appreciate that, Don Burr. His strength was his reach. His elbows damage. He is average. All right, might put your GM hat on. Who's not making the roster? Okay, who's not making the roster? Well, I'm going to say Nick Bolden. I don't believe he's going to make the roster. I do think Isaac Nada can play tight end. Obviously, that's where he was drafted as the 6th round. But he can also play fullback. I think he does make the roster. I was going to talk about Mike Ford, but we don't know now due to injury. If his injury is long-term, he's going to be IR'd. If not, he could make the roster, but I'm going to just say iffy on that right now. I think another person you want to look at to potentially not make the roster, I think you look at Jamal Agnew. I think it's going to be hard for him to make the roster. It depends how many wide receivers we go. Do we go 5 or do we go 6? If we go 6, he has a better chance. If we go 5, I don't see it. I don't see how he makes it because you got Cephas and you got the rest of the crowd. That'll be interesting to see. I think that Ode Ibushi does not make the roster because we got Bo Benshaw who's coming up. We drafted Stenberg, Jonah Jackson. I think Wiggins has an upper hand over Ode Ibushi. In my opinion, that's kind of what I see from there. Let's see. Christian Jones cut. I would like Christian Jones, John Kapler, to be cut. I think he does make the team, but that would be a guy who I want cut for our Detroit Lions. A couple other players that are on the roster bubble. I mean, generally we can look at the running back position. I think Ty Johnson's going to be a player who could get cut. They just got too many running backs and not enough players. I think Jonathan Williams, the last running back we got cut, doesn't make the roster. I think it's going to go DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, Huntley, and then Nada is a tight end / fullback. And then you have the two tight ends, Jesse James and obviously TJ Hawkinson. I think Hunter Bryant could make the roster. I think he's had a good camp. I know he was a little bit off due to some little injury, but before that, I think he's really had a good camp. I think he does make the roster because he's talented. And I think that gives you idea of if Jesse James doesn't pan out before the trade deadline, he could be a candidate to be traded, in my opinion, because he's really got to show out. He truly, truly does. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think is going to get cut? Put the person's name, and we shall see. If you've not hit that like button, please do so. I would truly appreciate that. He is on a contract year, typical Lions player, great contract year, and then after they sign, they disappear. That is true. That seems to happen a lot for not just the Lions, but for every team, and you got to be cautious about that for sure. You got to look more than just 1 year. You got to look at multiple years. Decker's had one bad year, and that says a lot for left tackle. I think he's a good left tackle. He's not the greatest, though. I feel like we definitely could upgrade if we wanted to go there. And it would not be upset about if they decided to move on from him after next year if he has another if year. Now, if he turns out to be a stellar stud, then re-sign him. But it just depends where we fall in the draft. There's a billion different things they got to look over. It all depends. I will never argue with a doctor when it comes to injuries. That's facts. Who was the better defensive tackle back then, Sue or Sean Rogers? Well, I'm going to say, obviously, Ndamukong Suh. I think Ndamukong Suh he was on a different level of good. And Sean Rogers, he was great. He was a really great player. I don't know if you guys remember when he intercepted a pass from Jay Cutler when Jay Cutler was on the Denver Broncos and he ran it for a touchdown. He was a good defensive tackle, but Ndamukong Suh, to me, is a better defensive tackle for our Detroit Lions. He's had a stellar year. He's never injured. Stellar years for Detroit, never injured. He's still not injured. And, yeah, laziness, that is true. He was a little bit lazy, so for sure. Agnew and Huntley on the field at the same time. Speed with TJ Hawkinson and guys. That would be, man, if Agnew and Huntley does make the team, that would be a sight to see on offense if you had both them on the field. Watch out for speed, but then you got to remember, you got to pull somebody off. Huntley made a great play where he got in between the tackles, and it would have been a 40-yard touchdown in practice. Shout out to Huntley. This is the type of stuff I like seeing. We need that speed player. We don't necessarily have to have all players' speed. Be nice to have a gadget guy like that in there for sure. Jerry Ball was really good. Yes on Ball. For sure, guys, if you got questions, ask it. Throw it in the comment section. I want you to comment with your questions. I will answer them, and we will get this bad boy going. That's what it's all about. Yes, I do remember stomping on Aaron Rodgers. Swift missed his 7th straight practice Friday because of an injury he suffered August 20th. Any concerns? I thought he came back to practice, but I'm not too concerned about it. We still got a couple weeks. I think Swift will be fine. And Swift is, you got to understand, generally rookies, because we've not had rookie minicamp, and this is something I stressed out earlier, you're going to see injuries to players in the NFL due to lack of practice. You're going from college where you're doing a lot shorter of a schedule, you're not working out as much, you're not practicing as much, to the NFL where it's a different level. And now with no rookie minicamps, with the pandemic, everything has changed, so I'm not too worried about it. Just be cautious. We've had injuries in the past, and I think it's important that we take careful on all injuries and not work them back in quickly. So I'm not too worried about it right now. Think about that. Every team wants the dominating left tackle, but every team can't have one. Decker and his arm holds up. He'll be solid, not dominant. 100% with you. We all cannot have a dominant. Every position cannot be dominant. If that was the case, we would be the all-pro team, but that is not the case. Joe Thomas, Cleveland Browns, left tackle, a dominant left tackle for his whole career, and it didn't outdo the Cleveland Browns much. I feel bad for him. Great player. I just want to have solid players around this team. I'd love to have a great left tackle, but at the end of the day, I want a good team. And if you can consistently have players that are specifically insane dominant, it's probably because you're picking early in the draft, and I don't want to do that anymore. I love this format. Perhaps make this a Friday thing, Kool-Aid Cornbread. I appreciate you. This is something I am going to talk about and look upon my analytics, as well as talk to my advisors who help me run my channel. That is not just me, and see what they got to say about this format, because I meet with them, and we will go from there. Mike, give me your NFC playoff teams. NFC playoff teams. Well, let's start with the NFC East. Obviously, I think that the Dallas Cowboys do win the NFC East. I think they're a fairly good team. They really did well in the offseason by getting all the defensive players. I think they did well by containing their normal players now that they got, even though they didn't get Dak Prescott, a long-time contract. He's going to play, and same with their wide receiver, Ezekiel Elliott. I think they're definitely a playoff team. I look at the South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a playoff team for sure. Look, Tom, you cannot tell me that the team is not better from what it was last year. Their offense was awesome, and they didn't have a good quarterback in Tom Brady, and I think that their defense was ranked number 2. They got Sue. They got the best defensive end getting after the quarterback in sacks. I think they make the playoffs. In regards to the West, man, obviously the San Francisco 49ers are a very good team. I still think that they definitely have a chance. It'd be interesting to see who wins that, because I think the Seattle Seahawks also make the playoffs, as one of those teams is going to be the winner and the other one is going to be a wild card spot for sure. And no doubt about it, they are a solid team. The NFC North, I think, obviously, the Minnesota Vikings are a good team, and I think the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs as a wild card, in my opinion. Let me know who you think can make the playoffs. That would be nice to hear your opinion. The Saints are in there as well, so you have a lot of quality teams. A lot of quality teams on here, and it's going to be nice to see. It is definitely going to be nice to see, but let me know who you think is going to be in here. Joe Staley is a stud left tackle, impossible to find. It's hard to find those guys. It definitely is hard to find. I need to shut up. I'm going to have every defensive end in the league doing a swim move on the arm injury move. You definitely are going crazy with that arm. I think you need to use your strong hand and get over it. That is crazy. John Kapler is not a fan of Mel Kiper. That is nice to know. Upgrade and steal, sharpen steel. Okay. Sign Decker, keep Big V. Halabaludi Vati Vitae Ragnow. Jonah, keep it moving. We got our things to worry about. I do like the offensive line strength right now. I truly do. I think the weakest point may be Joe Dahl. But you can't overhaul everything. If they wanted to trade at that point to get Tooney, that would have been a dream of mine. Imagine having that offensive line. I think our offensive line is going to be good. A really decent offensive line for our beloved Detroit Lions. I think Stafford will have the time to throw the football, and I think our running backs will have holes to open. Halabludi Vati Vaitai came here specifically to open up the holes to run the football. It's important to run the football, and that's why he is here. And guess what? Jonah Jackson can do that as well. So I think the right side will have lanes to run in. Thank you, Bob Quinn. And I think Stenberg is eventual replacement for Joe Dahl. And also, again, he can play center if Frank Ragnow has an issue. Don't want to see that to happen because Frank Ragnow is a monster. But yes, you're going to get videos flagged for cursing. Yes, that is facts. That's fine, Mel Kiper. Watch the language, though. Yes. laughing my A off. Okay, Dawn. Love it, John. Throw in questions. If you've not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let me know what you want me to answer, and I will get to it. Training camp, playoffs, Detroit Lions, playoffs. You let me know, and I will go and roll for you for our Detroit Lions. And that's the bottom line. Hashtag ISN. If you had to trade one, who would it be? Galladay, Ragnow, or Hawkinson? Oh my God! How about none? I don't want to trade none of those names. First off, Ragnow, no way I want Frank Ragnow gone. He is going to be a staple for this offensive line for a long time. Hawkinson, oh my God, none, man, none. If you put a gun to my head, it'd be Kenny Galladay, but not a single one. I don't want it. That would be a sad, I'm always going to be here. You are John Kapler. You are a boss, and I appreciate you being in here. Can't hyperextend that arm, and you keep pushing forward. Run the ball. Passing game will do its thing. Stafford doesn't break his back. Yes, we don't want broken Backford. We want Matthew Stafford, and that's the bottom line because Micro said so. You can get a wide receiver easy. Tight end and center, not so easy. Yeah, I know this is crazy, but I would say that the center, to me, would be more valuable than all that because I want to run the football. I want protection. That's what I want. But I think it would definitely go Frank Ragnow, Hawkinson, and then Kenny Galladay would probably be the guy to trade if I had to do it. Who do we trade for mid-season? That's an interesting question. Oh, man, I don't know who'd be on the trade market at that point. Could you trade for a Joe Thuney then? I'm not 100% sure. That would be an individual I'd look at. Offensive line, if it's not going great, maybe. If we need to get a defensive player or a defensive end, let's go for that. If that's the case, whoever would be a trade bait for a bad football team, you know, there's teams that's going to be tanking at that point. What players do they have available that they would be willing to get rid of for a bargain price for our team to throw on our team to get a defensive end? But I think that would be kind of what I'd go for. The trenches, an end or a guard, if that was the question. Let's see. Target. Great question. Who gets in that answer? Who gets short in that answer? Well, I guess that'd be Kenny Galladay would be the one getting short. So I think Kenny Galladay getting short would be the issue. I see that OBS screwed up for a minute. It will come back, I promise. OBS screwed up. I apologize, but it came right back. I'm not sure what happened. It is the bottom line. I apologize, but we keep moving forward. We trade for anybody unless it's a steal. Like I said, next year is the Super Bowl push. Yes, it all depends on capital. What is the capital do you want to give up? What is the price you want to pay for the player? It all depends. What we did with Snacks, I thought that trade was fantastic. Yes, that was OBS, the program that I use. Don't worry about it. Get Geno Atkins for a third. I'd probably get him for less, in my opinion. It just depends how the Bengals are doing. I think they're definitely going to be better than they were this last year. Obviously, I think Joe Burrow's going to bring that team to a better position. With that said, I still believe that you could get him for a little bit less. I'm Irish Thing. What's going on? Welcome to the chat. Do we actually have a chance at anything? Yes, we do have a chance. We do have a chance. The Detroit Lions are going to be a team, in my opinion, that is a sleeper. Not a lot of people are talking about our beloved Detroit Lions. Why? Because we're under the radar. We have a very good offense. We upgraded the defense. We are healthy. That alone is going to help us win. Matthew Stafford is healthy. Healthy Matthew Stafford, great offense, an upgraded defense will get more wins. We went 0-8 without Matthew Stafford. That alone tells you we have a chance. And we have another team that's going to make the playoffs because they went to 7 teams. John Kapler with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you so much. It will go back into my account. You are the man. Upgrading. I appreciate you very much. He says, what we will be after week 10. What we will be after week 10. Well, I think we can be... I think after week 10, we could be probably 5-4. I think that's a legitimate look. 5-4 after week 10. We got an early bye week. I think 5-4 is there. I know that it could be better, it could be worse, but I think legitimately 5 wins is kind of where I'd see at week 10. It all depends on injuries. We do have an early bye week. That hurts us. But, folks, we have a lot of home games at the end of the year, and hopefully fans can come in. We'll have home field advantage again. It may not be full stands, but at least it will be some because we play a lot of road games early. This is a weird year. Due to this pandemic, this whole year has been thrown out, but I think 5 wins is there. Is Hand healthy? Ramon the New Age, welcome to the chat, buddy. Yes, he is healthy. From all I've heard in camp, he has shown no signs of regression in regards to his injury history. I think he is healthy. Dr. Detroit says, we do have a chance. You cannot use last season as a barometric reading. This team is almost completely different. And you know what? You can't look upon any team that way. You can't look upon any team and say, last year they sucked. That means they're not going to be good this year. No, not necessarily. Just because a team was bad the year before doesn't necessarily they're going to be bad the next year. The San Francisco 49ers is a huge, huge indicator of that. Not saying we're going to be that team at all, but it just means teams can be worst and go to first in their division. It's just the truth. It can happen. I think the Lions can be a good team. I'm completely comfortable with what we got. Upgrade next year. Josh Jackson, okay, I'm with you. It just depends on what's available. I'm never willing to give up things or players or capital just to give up. I'm not here wanting to do the Los Angeles Rams philosophy, throw everything at one and then just screw up your whole team for the next 5 years. I'm not about that. Jay Schultz, welcome, brother. Welcome to the chat. I know you have a crazy schedule. I appreciate you that you're on. You are a valued subscriber of mine. Welcome, sir. Folks, again, hit that like button if you haven't done so. Tell me it is your time. Ask me questions. It's rapid fire. I give all the answers to the best of my ability. If I don't get to your question, don't shoot me. It's because I simply missed it and repost it, and I promise I will get back to you. We can come up like the Vikings and Green Bay and slip on a banana and peel. Yes, and I think the Green Bay Packers won more than they should have. They're a team that can fall back. I think that even the Chicago Bears probably could win a little bit more than what they did last year. You just never know. But yes, the Lions have a chance. To assume they don't have a chance, that's crazy. That's ridiculous in my opinion, and that's just not the truth. We can come up. Poll, is Stafford our quarterback next year? Yes. Let me know, do you guys think Matthew Stafford is the quarterback next year? Put a Y for yes, N for no. My answer is absolutely yes. I do not believe we're going to be a top 3 draft pick, top 5 draft pick. That would be the only way, in my opinion, that Matthew Stafford's not our quarterback, is a complete and utter rebuild because Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia was so bad that we were a top 5 draft pick. Stafford, yes, is our quarterback for next year, and he is going to lead us to a good year this year, making for a fact, yes, I will say it for a fact, that Matthew the Stat Stafford will be our quarterback. Don Burr says, I don't know, so he's iffy. You think Blau is the future after Stafford? Roman, welcome to the chat. No, I don't believe he is the future. I think he is a future backup, as a backup role, kind of like a Stanton was for the Lions a couple of years ago. I think he can be a Stanton or a player in that sense. He's not showing me enough yet to say he is the future. I think if we're going to have a future, we'll probably draft him not next year, but the year following. We'd be drafting a quarterback. But he's not showing me enough right now and last year to say that he is the future. He has potential, in my opinion, to be a good backup like a Drew Stanton was. And hey, getting a guy who was an undrafted rookie and then we just give up a 7th round pick to Cleveland to get him to potentially be a future backup, not a bad deal if you ask me, in my opinion. Yes, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Doing the best we can to get to 5K. Yes, 5K. I am almost there. Just a couple hundred away Subscribe to Infinite Sports Network if you haven't done so. We are almost to 1K. And subscribe to Chat Sports if you haven't done so, because they are a fantastic organization and they bring great content to all the NFL, not just the Detroit Lions. Put questions into the chat. Please do so. This is for you. I'm here to answer your questions and give you my take on many, many topics, specifically because the Lions play in 2 weeks. Roman says, also, how about Cephas' a steal? Yes, Cephas is looking to be a steal. Everyone said he was slow, and when I heard that, I was like, uh-oh. But when Jeff Okuda said it was the hardest wide receiver he went against, my eyes went up, my cheeks went up, and I instantly thought Amani Oruwariye, the 5th-round draft pick, he could be that guy. He could be the steal. And Antonio Hightower, part of ISN, 100% agrees with you, and I do as well. I think Cephas is a great player, and I can't wait to see him for the future of this team. Don Burr says, we just had Deshaun Kaiser here for a workout, the old Green Bay backup. Yeah, we've had quarterbacks come in for workouts. I think it's more just to keep an eye on them. I wouldn't expect any signing. If there's an injury to, say, to David Blau, or if there's an injury to Daniel, I think then we would sign these guys. But teams do workouts, just kind of see where these players are. Plus, just Deshaun Kaiser is kind of an individual like a Jeff Driscoll who can run it a little bit too. So I think they're just keeping eyes on guys. I wouldn't think we're going to sign anybody. I'm still listening, just not commenting. Oop, I commented. Shadow Chief, you broke your own rule, and I appreciate you. Shadow Chief, you are the man, and your team is going to have a good year. Cephas a steal. Galladay gone. I don't think Kenny Galladay is going to be gone. I do not believe so. I think he's going to be a Detroit Lion. I think we do end up re-signing him. And Kenny Galladay and Cephas is the future of the wide receiver core. Kenny Galladay, 3rd-round pick. Cephas, 5th-round pick. And let's not forget about Deep Ball Hall, who we signed, and he's done a really good job for our wide receiver core. The Lions always have good wide receivers, and it's awesome to see. If you have not hit that like button, please do so. It helps me get the content out. We are near 40. I would love to see 40. That would be fantastic for a Friday night, an impromptu live, because I was unable to do the One Pride podcast on my channel on Tuesday. I apologize for that. Cephas is not the same receiver as Galladay. Absolutely, that's what he is. He's not the same receiver. He's more of the slot guy. 100% agree with you. And he's a more physical Anquan Bolden type guy. He is that type of receiver. It'd be interesting to see. Another interesting wide receiver that's practicing is Victor Bolden. I wonder if he's going to make the team. This is a guy who's a smaller guy, 178 pounds. He's also in the mix for a slot. It'd be just interesting to see if he makes the team. And watch that guy, because he also can do kick returns and punt returns as well. So I'll be intrigued to see what he does. Marvin Hall is a sleeper wideout. Marvin Hall, to me, he's a sleeper to other teams. He's not a sleeper to D. Deep Ball Hall is a fantastic guy. I love what he brings to this team. Absolutely a good complementary piece to this wide receiver core. A number 4, yeah, bring it, get it, let's go. Absolutely love it. I love what I see from Deep Ball Hall, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see the weapons on the field come Chicago. I can't wait, guys. And make sure you are here for your Detroit Lions watch party as I go crazy watching the Lions, hopefully crazy good. But if I'm crazy bad, you're going to see emotions come out of me you never would have thought, because I get angry when my team is not doing good, and that's the bottom line. Ask questions. This is for you. This live show is all about the subscribers, giving back to you fantastic people out there who take your time on a Friday night to not watch your TV shows for a little bit, but to watch me talk about Detroit Lions. You don't agree with that, Dr. Detroit? Let's see. I agree, Dawn. I don't agree, Dawn. Cephas is not the same receiver. Yes. In my opinion, he's not the same receiver. Yes. Someone has to be fired for not signing Kenny Galladay. Hopefully we sign him. Don't know what's going on there, but we do need to sign him, in my opinion. I think we got to get this guy under contract. But if he balls out, we're going to be paying a pretty penny for him next year if that's the route we decide to go. That will be interesting to see. But yes, We need to sign him, and we need to get this man under contract. A nice 5-year contract would be nice. Get this guy in there. Do you guys want him signed? Let me know why for yes and for no. One more like away from 40. One more like away from 40. Smash that like button. Let's get to 40. That would be fantastic. That would make me happy. Let's get to the big 4-0 for an impromptu live stream with you folks and myself. I think our offense is going to give Bears that work. I believe so, Don Burr, as well. I think this offense is explosive. That's all we've heard in camp. Explosive, explosive, explosive. Marvin Jones, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, touchdown, touchdown. Like, it's amazing. The running game and everything. The offensive line, holding back Trey Flowers, Okwara's. So I think that our offense is going to be explosive for our team. And not till week 6, then only $13 million a year or under. I think he's going to get more than $13 million a year, Dr. Detroit. If I had to guess, I think he's definitely going to get more than that. 41, I appreciate you so much. 41, Dr. Detroit, you let Galladay walk in his prime. It would be a typical Detroit Lions. Someone has to be fired. No more retiring, letting players walk. I want him signed, but not everyone agrees with everything that we say. It's okay to not agree, because if you disagree to agree, we all agree upon that. Kenny Gallant, Steve-O, welcome to the chat. Says Kenny Galladay would be 32 at the end of his 5-year contract. So young, so amazing to see that. Yes, Kenny Galladay is a very good player, a great pick. I want to see him signed. I truly do, but not everyone does, and that's fine. If we pick 14 and 18 in the 2021 draft, would you take one of the top wide receiver to pair with Kenny Galladay? Interesting question. If we're picking between 14 and 15, it depends who's there. It truly does. In my opinion, I would look to see the defensive line. I would look for a defensive end. I want to see if we can get better in the trenches. I still like drafting trenches first. I think we can get wide receivers in the later rounds to complement the team. We've seen this in the past by Bob Quinn, Cephas, Kenny Galladay. We can get wide receivers that are good in late rounds. I want to see the defense get better. Defense, defense, defense. I feel like our offense is going to be good no matter what. I would like for our first pick next year to go defense, predominantly the defensive line, whether it be a tackle or a defensive end. That's kind of what the route I go. I always preach defense, if that's where we're at. If we're top 5, you got to take a quarterback. But after that, I'm looking at the defensive line. If we're early 20s, mid-20s, maybe offensive guard. That's a position you go, but trenches, you can never hurt. Let's see here. Galladay is prime. Yes, he is. Great wide receiver are not a dime a dozen. Larry Fitz-Hopkins don't cost a dime. No more over bad contracts. Did Hopkins get traded, Don? Yes, he did. They're easily acquired. Great wide receivers are very common. There are tons of great wide receivers in the NFL. Plus, the last draft, arguably the best wide receiver class, yes, is going to be amazing as well. And this NFL draft is going to be really, really weird because you're going to be basically going at 2 classes, the senior and junior class, because of the lack of college games. This is going to be hard to evaluate, and it's going to be fun to do mock drafts, in which I love doing. One Pride Nation, welcome to the chat, sir. One Pride Nation is a young Detroit Lions content creator. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so. He drops a lot of content, and every time he goes live, I try to get on there and talk with him. So he's a good young man. Get up in there. He says, we'll be seeing the Saints in the NFC Championship game. If you're right, One Pride Nation, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love that. Let's get the victories. 44 likes, 35 in the chat. Let's get to 45 likes. We're almost to 50. That would be amazing. I would take D-line. I see D-line. Hopkins got traded in Bill O'Brien on the... Yeah, Bill O'Brien is definitely having some issues. He needs to get wins there, or Bill O'Brien is out. I don't even know if Galladay has peaked yet. He's statistically gotten better every single year, last year being the best. Absolutely. And that's 100% fact. And that's why we need to sign him, in my opinion. If he has a fantastically statistical year this year, the price tag is going to go up for Kenny Galladay, and it's going to be a pretty chunk of change. Rather give Jones Jr. extension for cheaper. I do want to give Marvin Jones Jr. an extension, Steve-O. I'm with you. I'd like to give him a 2-year extension, something like that. I love Marvin Jones Jr. He is underappreciated, and he's a very good wide receiver. Him and Galladay is very much a good 1-2 combo. Antonio Hightower says, isn't it good as Hopkins currently Larry Fitzgerald used to be? Well, of course he's not as good as Larry Fitzgerald yet. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Hopkins is fantastic. Put it like Galladay getting traded. Watch the roar. You think people tripped on the Diggs being let go. That would be, yes, it would be. Lions versus Saints. Lions win, hopefully. If the Lions play, I want Lions always to win. Facts. You got questions. I got answers. Put the questions in the chat. I shall answer. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. It helps bring the video out via YouTube algorithm. People are not watching now, but as soon as the stream ends, it pops up and they can view it. And that helps me out and it helps you out, helps all of us out. So I appreciate you. We are so thirsty, we'll sign anyone to think is good. I don't want to sign just anyone who I think is good. I want to sign people that are good. I want to sign our players first. Let's get the guys who can be good for our team and be good for our team for years to come. This city better learn how to appreciate talent and keep in the house. Talent is home. Yes, we need to appreciate the talent. We do. We do, but we also need to appreciate wins. And if we want to keep this talent, we got to get wins, so players want to be in Detroit. We want to have players stay here. We want to have players come here. We got to win, 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 period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Wins solves all the problems 110%. The Lions traded Slay and Diggs and let Glasgow walk and cut Quinn, and they haven't shown they could care less about the uproar, and they shouldn't. Well, Slay trade not big to me. The Diggs one hurt, but it is what it is. Glasgow, he got a massive contract. I thought it'd be nice to re-sign him, but not with the amount that he got. So I'm fine with him going due to that. Quinn, I feel like he was ready for him to let go and retire. So big shout out to Glover Quinn there. If you watch Kenny Galladay, he doesn't get open. He makes contested catches. That makes him so hard to replicate results. No, we don't need to keep middle of the road anywhere talent and overpay them. No overpaying. There's a difference between appreciating talent and over-evaluating talent. That is true, and that's why Patricia's seat is on fire. His seat is on fire because he's got to win. We do have talent on this team to win. We absolutely do. We do. And it is his job to take the talent that we got and become a playoff contender, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. We have the talent there to win football games. He's got to do it or he is on the hot seat. That's the same old line. I watched the Grid live stream last night about I'm not going to repeat that stuff, guys. Please don't mention anything about that stuff. I am no longer going to ever talk about that stuff. This channel is dedicated to Detroit Lions and Detroit Lions only. That stuff is not on my channel. I'm probably the only person that can think, but everyone thinks our wide receiver core is the best. I think cornerback safety core is even better now. I do think the cornerback and safety core is absolutely stunning. I think the wide receiver core and the secondary core very well could be the best. I think you're right there. I'm with you, man. Did it win to see what happens? Yes. Do you think that Unlin will bring a new dynamic to the D-line and they did in Philly by using a lot of stunts, confusion, post-snap to create pressure up front? I do think that Corey Unlin is going to make a difference on this defense. Why? Because it's not Pepperoni. Pepperoni was bad. This is a young, fresh mind in here. He can mix it up, put players in position to succeed. You're already seeing this Tavai in the middle. You're seeing Jarrod Davis on the outside. I think you're going to see mix-up. I do think he's going to make the defense much better and improved, and I agree with you. Patricia's on the hot seat because the Lions are the second most unlucky team in the NFL next to the Eagles. Well, you better put the Cleveland Browns as they're as unlucky as well. They're unlucky, very much so. All teams for sale would still be a Lion if out of state. All teams are for sale. Would you still be a Lions fan? Out of state, I would be a Lions fan. Out of state, yes, because I lived in Oregon. I was a Detroit Lions fan in Oregon, and that's pretty far away from Detroit. But I do not want the Lions to leave Detroit. Let me repeat, I do not want the Lions to leave Detroit. The Detroit Lions fan base deserves a winner in the city of Detroit. The city deserves a winner. It's been through the worst of times, bankrupt, everything to deserve a winner. The city deserves to win. I don't want to see Detroit leave Detroit and then win a Super Bowl. They better do it in Detroit. That's what I want to see. All you fans deserve a win. All you Lions fans, you Detroit fans, you deserve it. The young ones all the way to the old ones. The One Pride Nations, all the ways to the Gridiron Blitzes. You all deserve winners. Our secondary stacked, absolutely. Dr. Trey Friendly Wager, Patricia misses the playoffs. He's out. I think he is, and I think they're in trouble if he misses the playoffs. It depends, though. I mean, if we go 10 wins and we miss the playoffs, that's different. If we go 5 wins, he's gone, man. No excuses. Unlucky, lucky. We heard them all. Yeah, you got to win. You have to win. Our linebacker is the real difference maker. Yes, defensive end, to me, is the biggest difference maker this year. You have to get her the quarterback. If you looked at last year, getting after the quarterback was the single greatest deterrent of winning last year because the quarterbacks just sat there and picked us apart and their secondary got picked apart. We cannot allow that to happen. Defensive end, to me, is the biggest question mark on this team. The defensive line is the biggest question mark. I feel like we can do better with the linebacking core because of Jamie Collins, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. I think that Tavai in the middle, I think they can hold it down. The secondary, I'm not worried about. Offensive line, I'm not worried about at all. Obviously, there's worries, but but with all the other worries on the team, that is not the biggest worry, that's for sure. Wasn't there expectation and contention for the playoff spot in December? The Lions said they didn't make the playoffs to stay to get closer. They were last year. Yeah, there's a difference between year 2 and year 3. I think there is a difference. I'm not sure if I agree with, but Patricia and Quinn don't seem worried about getting pressure on the quarterback. Well, they better get pressure on the quarterback because if they don't, they're going to have pressure to not be. They're going to be in trouble. They're going to have pressure on their hot seat. 5 wins, he could be in trouble, but 6, 7 wins with COVID. He's good to go for one more. I don't know. I'm sub to all ISN members. Well, thank you, One Pride Nation. And if you're not sub to One Pride Nation, subscribe to his channel. He's a good young man, good content creator. He works hard, and it's difficult in these streets, right? I believe we will get more than 5 wins. I do, too. Who makes this year's first trick play touchdown? Oh, interesting. Who will make the first trick play touchdown? I'll say Huntley. He makes the first trick play touchdown. I think Huntley has the ability to do so. Oh, we went from 44 thumbs to 1 down. So somebody that had a thumbs up did a thumbs down. Hey, it is what it is. But yes, I'll say Huntley, man. He's going to make the first trick play as a player. That'll be interesting. Same old Lions talk, got close, wins, game playoff, everything, hogwash. Main thing I'm worried about is Stafford goes down. We have pretty much nothing behind him. Yes, God forbid this happens. If Stafford goes down, the season goes down. I can't. If he goes down for a long period of time, we're in trouble. Now, if he goes down for a game or two, I think we can handle that. For a long period of time, our season is hurt. My God, that would stink. Please don't allow that to happen, folks. Folks, I'm at 44 thumbs up. Let's get to 45 thumbs up, please. You get to 45 and I get to be happy. That would be nice. So if you have not hit that thumbs up, please hit so. That would be appreciated. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's going to stream the Fantasy Draft Sunday? I think Troxel Sports Talk is going to be doing that as well. I think he's going to be streaming on Sunday. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to get my roster and win. So make sure to let you know that. That's the bottom line. Been a fan for over 33 years. 44 line drop. Don Burr, you deserve the win here. You are the MVP. Been a fan for as long as you have. We appreciate you, and that's the facts. That's the facts. I appreciate you, man. So who makes the running game? Who makes the running back group? DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, and Jason Huntley. And I will say Isaac Nada / fullback / tight end. I think that's who makes the group. I think Ty Johnson goes to the practice squad. And Jonathan Williams is a no-go for the Detroit Lions. I like to see Decker get another catching touchdown. I would love to see that. That would be fantastic. Alexander Kamara says, smash that thumbs up. I appreciate you. Patricia is a great coach. After this year, fans will be singing a different tune. They got to be riding that strong D. Woo! We got to ride that strong D. Yes, let's get that strong D in there, and let's get those wins. I appreciate you. The Lions' ownership expectations is realistic, but making the playoffs expectations this year is unrealistic. No, that is not unrealistic. We cannot think that way. Absolutely not. They are counting on coverage sacks. That is risky, but of course the secondary turns out it will work. Wins don't hurt. Hurt don't care depth. Next man up, win, period. Pressure on the pencil in the air, man. Yes, we got to get wins, and we got to wins regardless. And I see that that needs to be the case. No doubt about it. And the only injury that would tell me to be cautious would be injuries to Matthew Stafford. That would be it. And no matter what, if he goes down, I'm worried. The rest, I'm not giving excuses for. I don't want to see excuses for other injuries. I want to see wins. I want to see wins. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a ton of injuries last year, and they went 8-8. Shockingly. I think the Lions need to have a replication of getting wins. I think we got to win, man. Let's see. I mean, the NFC making the playoffs is kind of unrealistic. No, it's not. What's going on, Willow Webb? Welcome to the Lions chat where I am asking you guys questions that I want you to ask me. So if you got any questions, ask me. I will answer. I appreciate that. That is what this is about. This is Mailbag Forum for you from me to have fun on this Friday evening. One Pride Nation. I think we got some members of the group in here with the 8 dislikes. Well, it's okay. It's okay. God bless anyone, no doubt about it, but it is what it is. If you are a GM, who would you trade? Trey Flowers, Jarrod Davis, or Romeo Okwara? If you're a GM, who would you trade? Jarrod Davis. I'd trade Jarrod Davis. I think that Jarrod Davis right now is not showing out in camp. I would like to see him to progress. In my opinion, he's got to do it this year. If he does it, he needs to get out of this lineup because it's too much. Too much. He's got to get better. Jarrod Davis is on. We pushed him on the outside, it looks like. Hopefully, Jelani Tavai can man that center. But, man, that's the bottom line. John Kapler says, haters gonna hate. Ignore them. Yes, sir. And win period, no excuses. This year, none. I don't want an excuse. I'm with you. I don't want excuses. And, folks, we have 47 thumbs up, 3 away from 50. Let's get to 50, folks. Woo! Let's get to 50. That would be fantastic. No doubt about it. The big 5-0. Let's get her done. We are right on track. I said this before last year, before the season even started. We're right where we should be. We'll make the playoffs decently healthy even next year to the Super Bowl push. I would love that, man. If we could make a Super Bowl push, man, Josh Jackson, I'm going to die. Health is the most important thing. Yes, health. And thankfully, we have not seen a dynamically destroyed health of our team. Other teams have lost players. You look at the Chicago Bears. You look at the Cleveland Browns. They've lost some key figures. We have not lost key figures yet. Yes, we lost a 7th-round draft pick. Yes, we've seen Mike Ford got injured. But we have not seen a major injury. Knock on wood. Yes, no injury. That would be fantastic. Guys, let me know, do you like this forum where I'm just talking the questions, throwing it at you? Let me know if you like this forum. I maybe implicate this into my routine. Let me know. Do you like this mailbag where I just talk straight up Detroit Lions with you? Let me know. I'd trade Christian Jones. Alexander Kamara, I would trade Christian Jones as well. Thumbs up for me. If you would trade Christian Jones, thumbs it up. I got 47, 3 away from 50. Let's go. The Steelers went 8-8 by beating up bad teams. Yes, and guess what? If you're a good team, you will beat teams, all right? It doesn't matter. If you're a bad team, you lose teams. You want to win no matter what. I don't care about anything else. Add a like, my guy, respect the culture. Willow Webb, I respect you. My bold prediction is if we go 10-6, win the division for the first time. Plan B, welcome to the chat. I hope you are correct. I hope that we can win the division for the first time. That would be fantastic. I like it. I love it, and I want some more of it, like Alexander Kamara. Heck yeah, John Kapler. I'd trade Bo Scarborough. No! No trade Bo Scarborough. I love Bo Scarborough. Now, I know you don't like him, but that's okay. I like Bo Scarborough out of nowhere. But I tell you what, we didn't get anything for him. Okay, I'm definitely showing this one. I got that from Steve-O. That's a funny one. If we traded for him, I'd like to get something in competition. But no trade for Bo. He's comes out of nowhere, and he did well. How many yards do you think Swift will have this year? I'd say between 700 to 800 yards. I think 700 is probably realistic because he's not going to get the ball the whole time, but I think he's going to get it enough. And I think that's kind of what we want from him. But if you look at Darrell Bevell, we've never really used the guy where it's just handing him. Last year, we did a lot of players. It was more giving it to everybody else. This was a little bit off due to injury. But yes, I think that around 700 yards, maybe 250 passing, something like that. We'll see. But hopefully he can get good yardage for us this year. Christian Jones that is a good comment. That is funny so far. Don, you are setting yourself up to get crushed. That's facts. Jay Schultz, great content. Mike, great content to you for coming on here and putting that comment in there. I appreciate you. Have you ever been to Hawaii? If so, what is your favorite drink? No to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, but I have been to the Caribbeans. I have been to Mexico. I've been all over to the Bahamas. I've been to Haiti. So, not to Hawaii. I'd love to go to Hawaii. That would be fantastic. It's just such a long flight, and I hate flying for long periods of time. I did a lot in the Army, and I try not to go long distance, but I want to go there at some point. I'm not going to compare to the Jags. Winners is a goal. Yeah, we didn't compare to the Jags. Trade the burger, Davis, with a 4th and the 7th for Tooney. Hey, I'd do that. Been crushed every year. Nothing new. Whose jersey you rocking? Whose jersey? I will show you. You guys are going to like this jersey. Can you see it? Let me know. Yes, that is my jersey, the MicroMike jersey. That's why I'm rocking. 28 is my birthday. I am rocking the Mike jersey. If you've not hit that like button, please do so. And I am going to be slowing this bad boy down. Oh, you couldn't see it because my back was in the way, but slowly could see it. Is going to be the most touchdowns this year. Kenny G. Steve-O is my dream. We want Martin Mayhew back. No, I do not want Pride Nation. Why are you hurting me? That hurts my soul. That truly, truly does. Folks, we have been on for nearly 1.5 hours, and it is Friday. I want you to hang out with the family. I want to hang out with the family, play some video games, watch some TV, hang out with the kids. So I am going to conclude this live stream, and ask me in the comment section, not in the chat, do you like this? If you like it, tell me in the comment section. If you're watching this after the fact, tell me if you enjoyed it. That's what it's all about. If you've not hit that like button, we're 3 away from 50. Let's get to 5-0. Let's get to 5-0. Let me know, folks. Let me know. If you're just getting on here, you can always rewind it. With that said, folks, I will have a video dropping tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's who's trending up and who is a trending down for our Detroit Lions. Expect that at 2 p.m. Eastern Time when it gets released. And everyone, make sure that you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it. We are close. We are close to the NFL season. Make sure you have great time with the family and wash your hands, smash that like button, and have a